Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. It's Akoto Kusamoto and this is episode 2 of Digital Crack, the Minecraft mod pack. Also known as Project Architect. We had a ton to do today, so let's get going. So Chosen probably wouldn't appreciate me calling his pack that, because he's slightly more family friendly than I am. But this pack is stupid addictive. So in between episodes, you may notice I've done some work on Starfleet headquarters here. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I just kept going and going and going, and then I looked at the clock and it's midnight. And I'm like, oh, I need to work tomorrow. I've got things I have to do. So yeah, I just couldn't seem to stop. Couldn't seem to stop building stuff. So yeah, this pack is super fun. It's super fun and it's super addictive, and I love it. And I'm really glad that Chosen decided to actually put this together. So yeah, so this is what we've built, and the thing that gets me is like the size of this. So we've got, I mean, this is it's not a mega build, but it's probably somewhere in between like a normal build and a mega build, because that up there is 58 blocks across, and it's all marble and concrete and a few other things. Thankfully, these are in the pack. This building wand, this is this is a lifesaver. It's from the construction wand pack, or excuse me, from the construction wand mod, and it is awesome to say the least. To give you an idea how you actually use this thing, so let's go ahead and just pop down 2 blocks here, and then wand. I mean, pretty standard for wands, but it has this ability to actually get rid of anything that's placed. So if you mess up, you can undo what you just did, which is amazing. It's so nice, because I had to use that a couple of times on that up there. Ooh, we're almost out of food. Uh-oh. Thankfully, that's easily fixed. We now have another stack of bread. Yay, replicator. And you may notice something else here after you've noticed the giant construction behind me, is that we have 1.372 million EMC now. When I last left you, I think we had about 650,000. And that's with building this immense construction and making several of those diamond wands after I broke them. How did I get all that EMC? I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Primarily, this is how. So if you notice, each emerald has 16,000 EMC behind it. And the stuff we're trading to this guy in particular, like we're trading him bones, so each bone has 144. And then we're trading him things like gunpowder. Gunpowder has an EMC of 192. So we're trading 144 EMC for, 16,000. Well, I mean, it's not 144. It's usually a stack of like 12. But even then, we're trading like maybe a 1 or 2,000 EMC for 16,000 EMC. That's a pretty good deal. So that is how we've built up to now. We have 1.48 million EMC, and we also have a couple other people we've been trading with over here as well. I wanted to get this guy to master, though, because the hunter, not only can you get slime balls from him, you can get fermented spider eyes, magma cream, blaze rods, which very important, rabbit's foot, and gas tears. So you can get all sorts of stuff from this guy. Now, this is still, I recognize, a very manual EMC farm. You have to bring stuff over, trade with them. Even if you put them in the base, it would still be a very manual farm. Later on in the pack, we are going to automate EMC. We're going to make it so that we basically will get EMC automatically using a few different things that we'll go into at the time. But for right now, we've already gotten 1.5 million off of just basically trading 2 guys up to master level, which is amazing. Oh, and there's a dome on top of Starfleet Academy, or top of Starfleet headquarters, because of course there is. So yeah, so we basically have EMC on demand now, which is amazing, because we can go trade with the forester and the hunter and the stone cutter and just trade a couple hundred EMC for thousands of it, so which works out pretty well. That's one thing that I was doing off camera. Obviously, the other thing was building this. Now, this is now built However, slight issue, it's very empty. It's just a shell. And I knew it was just going to be a shell when I built it, because this did take, even with the builder's wand, this took a while to put together. Just because a lot of it, honestly, a lot of it was just math, trying to figure out the math behind what I was doing here, where I had one circle here, a slightly bigger circle there, and then a huge circle above it for the top part of the building. So a lot of it was just sitting down doing math, figuring out proportions, and then actually doing the building portion of it, which thankfully I only had to build, one ring, and then I could just builder's wand the rest of it. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Star Trek 1 and Star Trek 4 and the franchise in itself with this particular building, Starfleet headquarters in those movies, the top is sort of angled backwards. And I struggled with that because trying to get that to angle on this scale would have been very difficult. We do have access to a very cool mod here. So if you go ahead and go and type in frame, you're going to see that we have access to frame blocks. So we can make all of these different frames. And I have made all these different frames and gave them to the machine. So we've got these frames in here. The problem is that this right here is the shallowest of the sloped frames. And it's effectively an isosceles triangle. So, or not isosceles, Pythagorean triangle? Oh my goodness. Right triangle. Oh my God. I do stuff on YouTube. I'm not into math, which is odd because I play a game that's just based on geometry. So this is now empty. We need to fill it up with some stuff. Now, thankfully, I have gone and I thought that was a creeper standing right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's just my sad little farm that I made to make some vegetables. Okay. So I have gone and grabbed a whole bunch of blocks, a whole bunch of different kinds of blocks. We got some of that cherry wood over there. We've got the jacaranda. We've got tons upon tons of different decoration touches that we can add to the inside of this particular build. And I definitely want to, because we want the inside to look very much Star Trek-y. So I've got carpet, but there is something that I'm missing, and that is quartz and other nether blocks. I do, however, need nether wart, and I really don't know what this nether looks like. So we're going to go, look at the nether, obviously. So let's go ahead and grab the obsidian that I farmed up. So we need, you know what, just give me a stack. I'll use and then I'll put back what I don't need. That's one of the beautiful things about this, is you don't need to worry about getting extra of a material, because you can just feed it right back to the machine. We're going to do something special with this particular nether portal, because I don't know how many of you actually saw this episode in the original series of Star Trek, but there are portals in Star Trek, and I'm trying to keep this as in canon as possible here, as far as the things that we build and things that we do inside of this particular playthrough. Well, there's a portal in Star Trek, and it's not like wormholes or the subspace warps or anything like that. The portal I'm thinking of is from an episode called City on the Edge of Forever. And if you have ever seen that episode, you know that there is this thing there that's called the Guardian of Forever, that is a portal to the past that Kirk and Spock and McCoy, of course, go through, and then they screw everything up and have to fix it. And there's a thing about World War II, and then some lady gets run over by a car, and Kirk's like, no! And then, Spock drags him back through, and then everything's fine in the next episode. Because that's what Star Trek used to be. Anyhow, that's congratulations, I just ruined the episode for you. But it's definitely one of the better episodes they did in classic Trek. I would highly recommend taking a watch on it. You can probably get it. I think it's on Prime right now, the original Star Trek series. Go watch it. It's one of their better episodes they ever did. If you ever watch Next Generation, it's been compared to The Inner Light as far as hard-hitting, amazingly well-done episodes, so definitely something worth seeing. But the Guardian of Forever is effectively a big rock portal. It's made of rock, and there's a shimmery portal in the middle of it that you can step through, and it will take you to various different places, either throughout space or time, or both. Different dimensions, different realities, all sorts of stuff. So we are going to actually build the Guardian of Forever, because, that maybe Starfleet went and grabbed it off the planet and put it down over here. I don't know, but it makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. So we're going to actually build the Guardian of Forever, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is we're going to build it over here next to this little hill. Because this little hill, I was thinking about actually just taking it down to the same level everything else is here. But I want to try and not destroy this area as much as possible. So we're going to come back to this. Don't worry, because we do have to do some detailing for it. But we also need to do this. So for right this second, we're just going to go ahead and put the portal in. Oh, where do I want it? Yeah, right about here, I guess. All right, we fed our flint steel to the machine. We picked up a bow. We picked up some arrows. We've got all of our stuff on us. We've got our builder's wand just in case, since I may have to bridge over there. We've got some blocks on us, and we've got some extra obsidian just in case there's a gas on the other side. So let's go ahead and light this thing up. Grab our shield and hop through. Okay, I am not mad at this nether spawn at all. So... man, so we are on the very top of a better nether reforged city. That's our nether spawn is on top of the city. That's amazing. that is absolutely amazing, because I did not expect this at all. So basically, we've got access to all of the Sinusite blocks here. So not only just the Sinusite stairs and regular blocks, we've got access to these willow blocks. We've got access to the braziers here, to the lamps. Oh, they're so that's amazing. Wow, this is. I mean, I knew Better Nether Reforged was in here, but I was not expecting to spawn on top of one of the cities. I really wasn't. This is outstanding. Let's go loot a city. I mean, what are we? We're literally on top of. Wow, I really couldn't have asked for a better nether spawn. This is amazing. Let's go ahead and just staircase our way down for a second here. I am just amazed this is here. That we managed to pop in to this. I mean, I've spent the last 15 minutes just running around grabbing one of everything and feeding it to the machine and coming back and replacing it, because I don't want to destroy this area, but I definitely want all of these blocks. I mean, that's just, it's so cool looking. And then out here, we need to grab this bone wall because it's amazing. It looks awesome. Oh, hello, red mushroom. Do I have red mushrooms? Did I ever get red mushrooms? Let's find out. I don't know if I did. If I did, then great. But if I didn't, well, now we've got some. Oh, wrong way. This way? This way. There we go. Okay. Oh, hello, magma cream. Oh, yes. Oh, nope. Okay, now I can turn into magma cream. Yay me. It might be a good idea to turn into a zombie down here or something, So, so the pressure plate, take that. The trapdoor, take that. These are made out of wart blocks, and they're amazing. I have not had red mushrooms yet. Okay, cool. So let's just go ahead and feed that to the machine. The bone wall. Nice. All right, let's go back and replace the things we just tore down. Because, like I said, I don't want to destroy the environment here, because the environment's amazing. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and effectively just grab one of everything, feed it to the machine, and then just replace it all. So that we'll have all these blocks, but we'll also have a fully kitted out and undestroyed ancient city here. I think that's what this is called. I think this is called the Ancient City, if I remember correctly. But it's just, hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? Don't mind me. I'm just doing some stuff. But yeah, I've grabbed the Sinusite lanterns, which, I mean, you're talking about high-tech looking blocks. That is a high-tech looking block. I've grabbed the pots. I've grabbed all these blocks over here for building purposes. I've grabbed all this stuff. We still need to get into here. And you know what? I'm pretty well certain. Did I grab the wall? Yes, I grabbed the wall. Oh, the bone reed door. Absolutely, we want that. Bone tiles. The reed stool. Yes, we'll grab that. The stalagmite trapdoor. That, and this. So we'll grab all those. And I think we'll grab that too. I think one of these houses actually does have. Oh, that's so cool. Does have netherwork growing in it. Boy, this episode took a turn. Wasn't expecting to actually end up in one of these places. This is stupendous. I'm so glad. That we ended up here. So let's go feed all this stuff to the machine, and we'll come back, replace it all, and keep going. Oh, baby. I'm okay then. I mean, an enchanting table plus bookcases. I will totally take that. Unfortunately, we don't have silk touch on anything yet, so I can't silk touch the bookcases. But I do need the books, and I do need this enchanting table. So let's go ahead and grab that. The Secrets of Enchanting. And then we'll grab some books. So we can at least put the books. I mean, can't really replace the... Well, I guess we can replace it, because we can just make another bookshelf. Just like every building I go into. I mean, the first time I saw this was actually on Oni's server, that he was actually using Better Nether Reforged. And I had never seen it before, and I was just amazed when we actually found one of these things. And God, the more I see it, the more amazing it is. It's just whoever made this mod, just bravo! You did a fantastic job on this. I mean, it's so cool looking. It's so nethery looking too. I mean, obviously they used like some kind of nether inspired kind of blocks here, but it's just, it fits in so well with what's going on down here. I just, the amount of work that it must have taken to do this, it blows my mind. So mushroom fence, I already have that. Okay, it just blows my mind how much work was involved in this. Soul lily sapling. Wart log. That is what I need. And another wart. Hey, fantastico. Let's replant. Give me that one back. I just need one. Do we have bones? I don't think we have bone stairs yet. Let's grab that just so we don't have to worry about crafting it. We got the Senecite lanterns. I'm so tempted to grab those for decoration, but they don't. Oh, I definitely want that, and I definitely want that. Yeah, because nope, that is the wrong thing. So these things do not have an EMC value. So basically, the respawner statues they're there forever. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put that in there. And I've got a whole bunch of other stuff in here I need to do something with at some point. But yeah, it's, oh man, this whole mod is just, it's so good. Let's grab the nether wart block. And what else did we get? Wart seeds. Ooh, cool. Okay. And then we'll grab one of these, and we need some soul sands. We'll grab that, and we'll just go feed all this to the machine. And one of the things I do really like about the Project E is it teaches you, well, it doesn't even necessarily teach you, but it allows you to actually become a conservationist in Minecraft, so that you don't have to worry about like just raising something to the ground to get blocks, basically. And we can just go ahead and feed these to the machine entirely. There we go. So you don't have to bring an entire, like something like this. If you wanted to build with all these blocks, you'd have to just raise this whole thing to the ground. And while that's, it's okay, you play your game how you want, it always made me feel kind of bad to take some of these amazing structures and just completely destroy them from the top down just to get blocks to build with. So I like the fact that Project E basically turns you into a conservationist. You just want to grab one block, feed it to the machine, and you go replace it. Now, some people won't replace it. They'll just grab the block and move on. I want to replace it because I want to keep as much of the natural world intact as I possibly can, because that's, once again, a very Star Trek thing to do. I mean, the idea of nature conservation is not at all foreign to the Star Trek world. Wart log, you go back in there. In fact, it's very much part and parcel to a lot of the Star Trek world. Just when you think about some of the things that were talked about in the original series, in Next Generation, in Voyager, Deep Space Nine, the idea of conservation is not something that is foreign to the Star Trek world. It is very much a part of it. What's in here? Ooh. Okay, so we already got one of these. These are great. These chest of drawers. These are going to make amazing decorative blocks. Plus the fact that they're actually functional. They're a full chest worth of inventory. We got mushrooms. What is this? Stalagnate bowl. Really? Well, that's cool. And they all have custom textures. Is there stuff in them? Bowl with black apple. Okay. What are you? You are just a regular bowl, but it has an EMC value, so we can actually use that. What are you? You are wort soup. Good. It does have an EMC value, though, so we can actually EMC that, too. We don't have the vines and the shroom lights, so we definitely want those. So let's grab that. Ooh. Okay, it's not as far down as I thought it was, but still kind of terrifying. There we go. Okay. Got one. We've got the warped wood. Let's grab a shroom light. Quartz. Yes, absolutely need quartz. Oh, Nether cobalt ore. Can we get this? We can. Oh, awesome. We have cobalt. Problem, boys? Hello? Guys, you just... doorknobs. Doorknobs exist. Okay. Doorknobs. Use them. They are yours. Oh, no. Wrong. Bad. Get away. You... Oh, they're here too. Close the door. I'd say that was a pretty successful foray for the first time into the Nether for us. So let's have some of this raw hoglin to celebrate. And now that we're done with our adventure in the Nether, it's time to see if we can make this a little bit more Starfleet-esque. So we've got this completely done. I actually changed this up because I did want a piston door. I was thinking of having two on each side, like you see in the movies, but unfortunately we just don't have enough room for that, so I just did a 2x2 piston door, which, by the way, really simple. There's a bunch of different tutorials for it on YouTube as far as how to make this. You can probably kind of figure out exactly how it works with redstone torch under there, redstone, a couple of pressure plates, 4 sticky pistons, and then whatever you want for your door block. Now, this is where it gets interesting, is because we have a couple of different blocks that we're using over for the outside and the inside. And I want to go over that here real quick, just to give you an idea of what kind of block palette we're thinking about for the interior of this building. So we've got a number of different things we can do here first. So first of all, let's talk about outside. So outside, in the movies for Star Trek, especially the ones in the 80s, Star Trek's 1 through 6 is what I'm thinking here. The original cast, the original crew. When you saw pictures of Starfleet Command, you saw a very stark looking environment. It was a lot of blacks and whites, a lot of concrete everywhere. I mean, I guess we thought in the 80s like the future had to be covered in concrete, and that was kind of the idea. So when you see Starfleet Command, you see a lot of things that have just been paved over in concrete and all that. That changed when you got Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. You see a lot more integration of foliage, of greenery in the Starfleet Command and Starfleet Academy in those. So we're sort of going to be blending the two. So I do want to have that callback to the original series and the original cast and the original movies, but I also want it to be an interesting environment, so everything's not just paved over and covered in concrete. So it's more in harmony with the environment itself. So we're doing a hybrid of that. But for the outside, leading up to Starfleet Command here, we've got 2 blocks we're going to be using. One of these is just regular basalt, which you can find next to lava when you're mining. I tried doing a couple of the chiseled varieties, but honestly, I like this one the best because it looks the most like not necessarily a worn pathway, but a pathway that has seen, a fair amount of foot traffic, but isn't just all worn away. And that's going to be highlighted with this black concrete with the cuts variant from chisel, which I think just looks really futuristic and really cool. So that's going to be on the outside over here. So notice we've already got our basalt we're going, and that's going to be the pathway. And of course that pathway is going to go to different buildings around here, and the Guardian of Forever, which we're going to build a little bit later. There's going to be 2 attached buildings to this sooner or later. much like you saw in the movies, and we're going to be using those for various different farms and power generation and things like that. But for right now, we're going to have this pathway coming out, and then we're going to have the black concrete sort of accenting it, but then we're going to have a lot of natural greenery around it so that it's more like the Next Generation or Kelvin timeline versions. On the inside, we're going to have the flooring, at least for the interior here, going to what I'm guessing, actually I think I'm going to be two different staircases that are going to go up this way to this second floor. And in the middle here, we're going to have something. I'm not sure what yet. Probably maybe like a fountain or something like that. I'm thinking that the floor might actually be glass with maybe water underneath or something like along those lines, or maybe even like a Starfleet Command emblem down here, which I thought might be cool. I just don't know if I can build it. But the blue, this is light blue quilted wool from Quark, which basically is just three blue wool, and then 2 pieces of string makes quilted wool. Thanks to the framed blocks pressure plates, we can basically make pressure plates out of anything. So that's why we have these blue wool pressure plates, which I think are really neat. So let's talk about the Starfleet color scheme. So the Starfleet color scheme, if you remember from the movies and from Next Generation in particular, you're talking about red, light blue, beige, white. So basically that's your color scheme that you're dealing with there. It's kind of actually the color scheme for the old Red Lobster too. So I mean, if you could make Starfleet or you could make a Red Lobster. Kind of your choice. But that's what we've got to work with, is that we've got reds and blues, like a lot of blues, a lot of reds, and then a lot of beiges, some grays here and there, lots of whites. That's what we're actually working with as far as a color palette. And this wart planks and wart wood is a perfect color of red. So look at the red on my uniform and look at the red on the planks and on the stripped wart log and the stairs and all that. It's a very close match. It's actually got a lot of the same kind of maroons and reds in it that you see in the old Starfleet uniforms and the ones from Next Generation. We also have a number of decorative mods in this particular pack, 2 of which are going to be incredibly useful. One is Macaw's furniture. I love Macaw's everything. Macaw's everything is... Macaw has done a fantastic job making some stuff. So Macaw's furniture is in here. So this is the modern warped chair. So I don't really like the outside of it. I wish it was a different color, but I mean, we're using the warped wood. What do you want? So that's going to be like the chairs you're going to see in the upstairs area up here, where we're going to have like a commissary area, and we're going to have these little tables. It's going to be very much reminiscent of 10 Forward, if you remember that. These tables are from XK's Deco, which these tables are just absolutely great because they're just basic, simple tables. But you can adjust them however you want to make them look like anything you want to look like, honestly. And I'll show you a little trick. We're going to do that in a minute. So we've got that. We've also got this mechanical chair from XK Deco, which is a perfect little chair for like a meeting room or something. And then you've got the bridge chairs, of course, for the tech chair, which is also from XK's Deco. XK's Deco is another great decoration mod. So, but this is like perfect for starships or for command centers or anything like that. So this is definitely something we'll be using. The only problem is you can't sit in either one of those chairs. You can sit in this one, like all day long, but you can't sit in either the command chair or in the mechanical chair, which is kind of a bummer. Now, lighting. What are we doing with lighting? Well, this Simply Light mod is awesome. So these are illuminant blocks, and this is an inverted version of the illuminant block. And it basically takes redstone dust or redstone and just some redstone dust and some glowstone or glowstone dust to make these. The inverted version is always on. The regular version you have to power with a redstone power source, so a lever, for instance. So this block is great. This will probably be inset into the floor somewhere. You also have the illuminant rod, which could be great for like a neon lighting style. You've got the illuminant slab, also something cool. You've got the illuminant panel, and this is great, and I'll show you why in just a second. And then you've got the illuminant fixture, which that just screams Star Trek, doesn't it? I mean, that's you've seen those lights before. The nice thing about the illuminant panel, so let me actually break this, and I'll take this over to our table, and check this out. So you know how in 10 Forward from Next Generation, the tables all have that glowy top? Well, there's your glowy top. Done. How cool is that, huh? So there's our tables that we've got in our sort of commissary area, what we're going to have upstairs here. So those are our light sources. Now, the last thing we need, because it's Star Trek, and you always need these, are replicators. Well, here's our replicator. This actually took me a while to sort of figure out how I was going to do it. So we've got our transmutation table, which is our replicator, and then we've got limestone tiles around it on these frames. So we got a framed panel here, a framed panel here, a framed panel here, all with limestone tiles, and then just a limestone tile underneath it, giving it that sort of beige look. Because if you remember, if you ever watched the series, I know I'm just totally nerding out over here, and I do apologize. Actually, no, I don't. I don't apologize for nerding out. I'm sitting here, I'm a 40-year-old man playing a video game. I have no shame whatsoever. So that is what we've got for the replicator. And then we put one of these lights above it just to give it a light source, because that's what's always on these. So this is our replicator. And on the back over here, we've got another panel that has black concrete on it. So it looks like the replicators from Star Trek Next Generation. And it is a replicator because you can click on it and it actually works. You can replicate whatever you need out of the replicator here, as long as you have EMC. So yeah, that's our replicator. We've got our lights. We've got our flooring on the outside. We've got our accents for the inside. We've got some of our flooring here, and we've got a bunch of decorative blocks over here. All we got to do now is just get to it. So we're going to do a quick interior decoration montage, I think. I'm not going to show you everything, because everything that'd be a lot. But I'm going to show you a lot of it on this montage that we're going to do here right now. So hold on to your hats, set your phasers for fun, and let's go. And end of montage. And are you all ready for the big reveal on how this is actually going to look? Because I didn't show you everything, but yeah. So outside here, we've got these Luminar posts that I put in with the, I really like this black cut concrete. That's really cool looking. With the basalt, it goes really well together. I may keep these here, I may not. I'm not sure yet. It just kind of depends on how I feel. We've got the lights above the door, and when we go inside, we have the entry hall for Starfleet Command, which is just awesome looking. I think I got done with this and I'm like, oh, all that work was actually worth it. So this is basically the foyer. Now don't pay attention to this up here. This is still work in progress. We need to put a ceiling in and a second floor, and then a third floor, which is going to be like the main meeting rooms up there. But I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. So these staircases, by the way, were just they were brutal. They were brutal putting this thing together. But I really like the way that it turned out, especially with the light poles there acting as what's holding the staircase up. These are actually osseous brick slabs from Architect's palette. And the way you do it is you just put a bone block into your stone cutter, and you can get these particular types of blocks out of there. You can get these walls, stairs, all sorts of different stuff. I just use the slabs for effectively supports for this particular thing for the staircase. Here are warp modern chairs next to some of our tables, a little bit of greenery in here. Plus we also use these Cinesite pots with some agave seeds to give it a little bit more texture, a little bit more look. So it's like, so you got like the waiting area over here. This middle area, well, I was really happy with. So these are all frames. So this is the framed inner corner slope, and this is the framed three-way corner slope. And what I did is just use light blue concrete to fill them in. So we've got this cool looking pattern here. And then we've got the frame slopes on the back, and then we just put concrete blocks in the middle to put some various different things on, like these flower boxes from supplementaries. Once again, a little bit more organic color in here for the build itself. And then we've got these bone walls with 2 globes from XK Decos on here, and then we've got 2 statues from supplementaries with swords. You could have them holding a bunch of different things. I had them holding iron swords. I thought that looked pretty good. We might change that out a little bit later, though. And in the center, we've got sort of like the welcome area. So this is like the info desk. Small book stacks, also from XK's Deco. These can be used for enchanting, too. So rather than bookcases, you can have book stacks, which we'll probably take advantage of that later. Mechanical chairs. And then over here, we've got our little trick with the mechanical chairs with the table and the illuminant panel to make it look more Star Trek-y. And then, of course, we've got our replicators, and we've got 8 replicators throughout the main lobby area here. So we've got 4 on the back wall, and then 2 on each of the side walls over here. So we've got our little replicators built. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. And then the flags, of course, are just sort of the basic Starfleet colors. You've got the red, the light blue, the white, and the blue. So we've got the basic Starfleet colors there. And then the floor is white concrete powder with the illuminant blocks and then glass on top. So it sort of gives a cool illusionary effect here, I think. So I liked it. I tried some different types of glass, too, and I didn't like any of them. Even like the chipped glass. They were just too ornate. I wanted something simple and stark, and decided, you know what, just regular old glass. Sounds good. The only connected glass in this pack is the dark connected glass, which wouldn't help because then light wouldn't go through, which would be bad. Even though we've got a mega torch underneath over there to keep mob spawns away, I want to have a ton of light in this room just to make sure everything's well lit and bright and cheery and I mean, very Star Trek-y. I mean, very, like, original series and Next Generation Star Trek-y, not Kelvin series Star Trek-y where everything's dark and morbid and depressing and emo. No. This is light and cheery and hopeful. That's what we were going for here. Of course, we've got this holding it up. There's going to be a ceiling up here, and then our second floor is going to start basically at this level here, where we're going to have... probably we'll have like a railing over here with a viewing platform so you can look down at the lobby, and then we'll have a few other things up here like a commissary or something along those lines. But that's going to be the roof of the foyer and then lobby, basically. Yeah, it's the most dangerous staircase on Earth because you just walk over here and go, bah! But you know, it's Star Trek. What do you want? It's futuristic. In the future, no one breaks their knees when they fall off of staircases. I was actually really pleased once I got done with this. I was like, you know, this looks really good. It looks very Star Trek-y. I mean, you've got the Star Trek color scheme. You've got the maroon and the beige, the light blues, the whites, the bright colors, the bright illumination with everything. You know, your piston door, which is, you know, your Star Trek door, your Star Trek sliding instant door. I was really happy with the way that this actually turned out. It turned out really well, I think, and it very much looks like something that you would see in the Star Trek universe. It's something like you would see at Starfleet Command or in some of the Starfleet Academy buildings or something like that. It very much feels right. But I'm afraid that is all we have time for today. We did a ton of stuff in this episode. This episode actually took me about 3 days to record. I mean, it was a long episode to record, especially that montage section. Like, you only saw 45 seconds of it. That was hours upon hours of building and rebuilding and tearing down and trying out new things and looking online for different types of stuff. I mean, it was hours of that. So I'm very pleased with the way it turned out, but we are out of time for right now. We're going to come back next episode. We're going to be doing a little bit more interior here. We're also going to be doing some work on the exterior to give it a little bit more detail, make it feel a little bit more like a living place rather than just the 3 circles stacked on top of one another here. So, but I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you liked it. I hope I earned a subscription from you today. Please feel free to like and subscribe on your way out the door if you have not already. But once again, I do this for fun. I do this for entertainment. Don't ever feel like you have to do anything you don't want to do when you come here other than just watch the video, enjoy it, and have a good time. I always like new subscribers. I always like having new subscribers. I always like seeing comments on my videos, liking the videos. All that's fantastic. But really what it comes down to is, did you have a good time? And that's what really matters. But whatever you do tonight, make sure you go out, play some games, have some fun. We'll see you all again real soon. Make it so. Have a good night, everybody.